Hello everyone and welcome to Q3 Cognigy.AI Tech Update, our very first as Nice Cognigy. Super excited to have you with us, a new Senior Product Marketing Manager here, and I'll be your host for today's session. It has been such an eventful quarter here. The recent acquisition marks a huge milestone for us and we couldn't be prouder of this exciting new chapter. But it's not the only achievement we're celebrating. Over the last quarter, we were once again named a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for conversational AI platforms as well. This recognition not only speaks to our vision and technology, but more importantly, it reflects the trust and success we have built together with you, our valued customers and partners. And being a leader means one thing above all: keep raising the bar and continue to innovate, which is exactly what today's session is about. Joining me is our product management team who will walk you through the most recent updates we have made to Cognigy.AI and what they mean for your business. Before we get started, just a couple of quick notes. You will be in listen-only mode throughout the session, but our team is standing by in the Q&A panel to answer your questions. If we can't get to you today, rest assured we will follow up within the next few days. A recording link will also be sent to you after the webinar. Now let's kick things off with a quick recap in numbers. Over the past 6 releases, we have introduced 55 updates, including 20 new features and 35 other platform-wide improvements. The most impactful developments revolve around Agentic AI, Webchat, voice, LLM orchestration, and contact center experience, so those will also be our focus topics for today. Let's dive into the first set of updates. Melin, our product owner, will showcase the latest enhancements to Agentic AI and Webchat. These include a new accelerated agent and job editor, the ability to fully customize AI agent system prompt, together with new tooling for faster Webchat styling and deployment. Melin, take it away.
Thank you, Nu, and welcome everyone. I'm Merlin, one of the product owners of Nice Cognigy, and I want to show you 4 improvements we did in the last quarter. So the first one is in the AI Agent Wizard. If we go to the knowledge store section here, previously we could choose existing knowledge stores. As you can see here, we have it lined up, but of course you need to leave the AI Agent Wizard in order to create a knowledge store previously. And this is something we fixed. You can now upload a knowledge source directly from your computer in the AI Agent Wizard, therefore leading to the fact that we don't need to leave the AI Agent Wizard here and don't break the user journey here of creating an AI agent. So if I browse my files here and just upload this PDF of a Fritzbox overview, I can click next, and what happens now is that we create the knowledge store in the background directly in the AI Agent Wizard. I click next and I want to create the agent here as a default. We are configuring the personality, creating a flow in the background, everything. And what happens next is that we jump directly into the interface of the AI agent edit panel. So, but before we go into this panel, I want to quickly switch the agent because I've prepared, of course, something. I want to go into Technic here and quickly show you the persona panel here, because this is actually the familiar interface you know from the Edit AI Agent panel, with the exception that it's aligned vertically instead of horizontally. So you can scroll down here, you have everything you had before. You have the AI agent name, description and everything, tone of voice, special instructions, voice configuration, etc. And we also have the knowledge store we just created down here, which is the AI agent knowledge. And for the next thing we improved, we want to switch into the jobs tab. And the jobs tab is essentially a completely new UI, giving you the ability to have an overview of the AI agent, its attached jobs, and the attached tools of these jobs, right? So let's start at the top here. We have the AI agent here. If I click on it, I jump back into the persona tab where I can edit the persona. Underneath that, we have the jobs that are linked to this specific agent. So basically the flows in which we have AI agent nodes where this agent is assigned. For technique here, in this example, we have the contact center agent and an IT support specialist. And without further ado, I want to jump into the Talk to AI agent use case here, which opens the interaction panel with the correct agent or with the correct job here selected. I want to greet this agent and I want to know if the Wi-Fi router supports Wi-Fi 6. And as you can see now, on the left side here, we are indicating in a green shade that we are executing this job, this tool, and this job here, right? Because the contact center agent actually recognized that he must forward questions on Wi-Fi routers directly to the IT support specialist. It is executing this tool here, which is doing a handover to another job of this agent. And then we jump into this job here, IT support specialist. He is asking for the model number. Yeah, which is the 6490 here. And we can see, okay, this does not support Wi-Fi 6, but sorry, this was a mix-up. It's actually 4690. And now we can see that the 4690 actually supports Wi-Fi 7, which is great information for me in that use case, right? We can see that the job was executed here. And if I jump into this job here, it actually answered the questions based on the knowledge store for this specific job, right? For this specific job here, IT support specialist, I have a different knowledge store configured than for the contact center agent, which is basically the front line handling ID&V processes, updating a customer address using an MCP tool. And if technical questions arise, he forwards to a different agent. So this was the use case I wanted to show you. I'll quickly jump over to the functionality here of this new interface here. For example, we can disable and delete existing jobs here. We can create new jobs, for example, right? For this agent, which is basically in the background, creating a flow, creating an AI agent node and assigning this agent to this AI agent node. I can go into the contact center agent here again. I can edit all of the tools, for example, the ID&V tool here. I have all the settings that I had in the flow previously or the flow editor previously. I can also add a tool here, regular tools or MCP tools. For example, I'm just adding a default unlock account tool here. This tool unlocks a locked user account. I can just reset the session here quickly. And I want to unlock my account. And what we'll see in a minute, that he's executing this job here, but he's actually making things up, like the account number, full name, or any other relevant information. I didn't specify this at all, so I want to go back into my unlock account and edit the settings of the tool. I want to choose use parameters, and the default option here is the email. I will click save, reset the session, and I want to unlock my account, approach the agent again. And as you can see, he's asking only for the email address because this is the only parameter he needs to execute this specific tool here, right? This is not indicated in green yet because the tool has not been executed. He's just gathering information. I'll just put johndoe@cognigy.com in here. And the next thing we are going to see is that the unlock account tool is being executed here. So all in all, a super cool, completely new UI to give an overview of the AI agent, its attached jobs and the tools to manage everything in one place without touching the advanced editor, just the flow editor here at all. You can have a conversation, you can edit all of the settings of the tools, you can edit all of the settings of the AI agent here, you can change the persona in this interface here. So all the flexibility you need to successfully manage your AI agents in the tool. And the next thing I want to show you is actually in the flows. in the LLM flow here. Just going to reset the session here. And I'm going to start a conversation. Hey, just showing you the LLM prompt node. Hey, how can I assist you today? We have the Lord AI agent node in front of it. And I say, what is your name? And as you can see, it's saying I'm called ChatGPT. Okay, so as I said, this is the legacy node here, which cannot access the AI agent configuration at all. We want to disable this for this use case here. We want to enable the new LLM prompt node, which has basically all the functionality of the old node, but some additional functionality. The first thing is that we have tool support here. As you can see in the flow, we have a default tool and an unlock account tool. Just as you know it from AI agents, we also introduced that for the regular LLM prompt node. We also have image handling, processing of images here. So if you upload an image, for example, in your Webchat v3 endpoint, the GPT is actually able to understand the content of the image and process that in the execution and answer on that. We also have the system prompt here, where the new LLM prompt node can actually access the information we provide through the AI agent configuration, which we provide in the Lord AI agent node. So let's do that again. We just create this agent here. And as you can see, the LLM prompt node, which is not an AI agent node, is actually greeting us with the context from Technique here, which we provided in the Lord AI agent node. You can go into the context menu here, and you can see the complete AI agent configuration for Technique here. So a super cool new node, which gives you more flexibility in creating flows without the need to use AI agents. But if you want to use configurations, instructions, etc. from your AI agent in the prompt node, you can also use the Lord AI agent to insert the context into the execution of the LLM prompt node. So that's it about the new LLM prompt node. Please try it out. For the next feature, we want to go into the endpoints here, and we want to create a new endpoint, which is called back update, of course. I'm just using the LLM prompt flow here, and I click save. And as you can see now, we have introduced style presets in the endpoint editor for the Webchat v3 endpoint. We have 3 style presets here: classic, modern, and slick. And as you can see, these have different appearances. So we are changing the design and the behavior of the web chat with one single click. I will just try the slick endpoint here, or the slick preset, click save here. And if I open the demo web chat here and start the conversation, you can see that the messages appear on a gray background here and also appear in a progressive rendering style, so word by word instead of having the full box all at once. So really cool way of configuring or customizing your web chat really quickly. And if you are interested in this, please check out our documentation on the style presets, because we actually list all of the parameters and all of the values, respective values to the parameters in our documentation. So for example, the chat window width here for the classic preset is 460, and for the modern presets is 900. So if you want to customize it even further, please visit our documentation here to see all the details. And for the last topic on my end, I want to give you an update on the embedding ability for Webchat v3. We recently introduced a way to embed Webchat v3 via NPM package if you want to integrate it into your pipelines, giving you better control and stability across environments. So if you're interested into this, please check out the documentation here as well. Really good getting started guide with all the prerequisites and embedding methods you need to get started here. But also the embedding via HTML will also stay. So whatever fits your requirements best here, you can choose whatever you want. And with that said, that's it already on my end. Thank you for listening in, and back to you, Nu.
Thank you so much, Meling. Really amazing features. I especially love the new Agent and Job Editor for how intuitive it is. And just to be clear, this is not a competitive approach to the existing Flow editor that you are already familiar with. Quite the contrary, the two interfaces are fully compatible and complement each other, so depending on your needs, you can easily switch back and forth between the two for the same AI agent. The central benefit of the new editor is really speed and simplicity. You get a centralized view of all components that are tied to an AI agent, which makes it much faster and easier to find and tweak a specific job or tool. On the other hand, when it comes to more complex logic and deep customization, the advanced Flow editor is there to give you all the flexibility you need. Adding to Meling's updates, I also want to highlight a key voice improvements, especially for those of you who design and deploy EU-based voice interactions. We now natively support the new EU-hosted speech services introduced by DeepGram and 11 Labs. This brings multiple benefits. First, regional data processing and storage help meet regulatory requirements like GDPR, so it's quite a critical requirement for enterprises operating in the EU market. It also significantly reduces latency as there's no cross-continental data routing, which contributes to a more seamless user experience. And lastly, the ability to segregate speech data into multiple dedicated regional environments helps you better balance workloads, improve operational resilience, and facilitate internal security practices. Setting this up is very simple. In the Voice Gateway portal, when configuring a new DeepGram or 11 Labs service, you now have the option to select your preferred region, whether global or Europe, before adding the relevant API key. Now moving on, Anastasia, product owner at NICE Cognigy, will demonstrate our latest improvements to LLM orchestration capabilities. These include better visibility into model deprecation, instant LLM latency insights for testing and debugging, the new Bring Your Own Embedding Model capability, and enhanced rich media context for AI agents. Over to you, Anastasia.
Thank you, Nu, for setting up the scene along the whole session. Hello everyone, my name is Anastasia and I'm a product owner here in NICE Cognigy. Today we will go through several improvement features which are all related to LLMs. To start with, you might remember that this year we have introduced the option to configure OpenAI compatible model. So far we have offered chat type for dialogue reasoning and text type for simple text completion. In Q3 of 2025, we have added an option to add embedding model type, saying that if there are any new providers whose embedding models are compatible with OpenAI, you can now configure them within your project and check how they capture concept in contrast to the models Cognigy already offers within the LLM setup options. To configure OpenAI compatible model, we will add a new LLM, provide name, optional description. Select provider OpenAI compatible and define the model type as embedding. We will specify now the name. I have already set up the model to show you that the next configuration steps in Cognigy are the same as usual. We provide a valid custom model for the selected provider, the base URL, which is the endpoint where requests will be sent, and outline the custom authentication header name. By clicking plus, you define the connection name and provide the API key. With this, your setup is completed, and now we can move to the next steps. As embeddings capture the concept, not just literal text, they are perfect for knowledge retrieval, where users phrase queries differently. Therefore, let's go to the settings to ensure that our knowledge search has correct setup model. As a next step, we will configure our knowledge store. For my flow, I have decided to equip my AI agent with a knowledge about the Japanese secret for a long and happy life, so-called Ikagai. As I have already configured LLM embedding model and assigned it in the settings, it is automatically shown as successfully configured. As a next step, we uploaded the knowledge successfully, and the answer extraction model was also configured before. That's why it is also shown as successful. I will skip create the flow to LLM powered question answering, as my objective is to enrich my already existing AI agent. So, to complete all of my steps, I will assign the job knowledge to my AI agent. Let's go to our AI agent editor, move to the section of ground knowledge, and activate the toggle use job knowledge. Then we will select the configured knowledge. You can of course complete the same actions when adding the AI agent in the advanced editor. So to summarize, in case you are willing to use embedding models that you cannot find within available models in Cognigy, if your preferred model is compatible with OpenAI, you may now go ahead and try it out. Let's move to the improvement on an LLM list. We want to ensure that you have the latest information if your LLM of choice has been deprecated by the provider. You may see this information in the list of LLMs by noticing the orange triangle. Also, you will see the warning information during the setup process of the new configuration. Moreover, you will also see the warning information related to LLM API response payload in JSON editor. Input section, highlighting this property is deprecated. In short, we hope that with more guidance on the status of the LLM used in the project or within the flow, you are now enabled to react when the maintenance changes are required to keep your AI agents and other LLM prompts running smoothly. Now, let's move to the updates related to the AI agent node and LLM latency. We have also added additional debugging option within the agentic nodes, which when enabled logs the LLM's latency. You may find it under the debug settings within the nodes and activate it by turning on the toggle. Save and let's test. As you may see now, we have additional debug information highlighting the time to first LLM output and time to finish LLM request. This information ensures you can optimize speed, improve user experience, and troubleshoot performance issues effectively, as high LLM latency directly affects how fast end users see the response, while logs make it visible whether slow replies come from the model or somewhere else in your flow. So, last but not least, I would like to outline improvements we have implemented for the get transcript node. This node is used to store conversation transcripts in input or context object, which as a result adds the latest conversation script to the AI agent, which can automatically streamline the conversation, especially when handing over the conversation from one AI agent to another by injecting the latest context. When setting up the node, you are asked to specify the limit, which enables you to decide how many steps do you want to retrieve. The storage section is meant for you to decide where you would like to store the retrieved transcript, in context or in input. Finally, we have recently added advanced option to include rich media context, which includes structured data present in the previous nodes. For example, when structured output data is used within say, question, and optional nodes, you will add textual description parameter context into the conversation transcript. If the textual description parameter is empty, the context is taken from the button titles and alt text in the text and buttons and quick replies. While for gallery, list, audio, image, video, and adaptive card, we will always rely on the textual description. Let's have a look how it looks in the JSON editor when structured data is used and include rich media context toggle is on within the get transcript. Within my flow, my AI agent is asked to plan my sports activity and nutrition. In addition, I have also added a parameter to collect feedback, which will be handed over to the other AI agent. In order to provide more context when handing over the process, I have added get transcript node into my flow directly before the handover to the other AI agent. And within this flow, I decided to add additional conversation transcript into the context. And of course, I activated the toggle include rich media context. Let's start talking to our AI agent. I have requested my AI agent to provide me the sports activity recommendations for this week, And then I also request to provide me some nutrition plan recommendations. Now I want to also provide feedback, because maybe I'm not 100% satisfied with the output, but this will be managed by the other AI agent. I have added the transcript note as mentioned before to provide the latest context, especially if my conversation was very verbose, and I would like to focus on the most recent steps. As you may see in JSON editor, in the context section, I have now stored text and structured data, which can be now reused by the next agent due to my get transcript note. With this, I have completed my feature improvement updates for today, and I wish you to have a very informative continuation of today's webinar, and looking forward to hearing from you in case of any questions.
Thank you, Anastasia. Really cool improvements that will enhance Agent Builder workflows. I especially want to call out the last feature on rich media context. In addition to the get transcript node that Anastasia just showcased, this option is also available for the AI agent node and the LLM prompt node. What that means is you can now include rich media context directly in the system prompt that is sent to the LLM, and this ensures that the LLM-generated responses are more precise and fully aligned with all accompanying rich text elements. We generally recommend you activate this for your AI agents to give them a boost in accuracy and context awareness. Now, coming up next, Denise will join us to present the latest updates on contact center experience. These include enhanced data control and consolidation for Cognigy Live Agent, plus a number of targeted improvements for the Salesforce handover integration. Over to you, Denise.
Thank you very much, New, for the introduction, and hello everyone, this is Deniz. Today I'm very excited to meet you again in this tech update, and I'm also really excited to present you the new features that we have released after the last tech update, as I promised you. And if you're ready, let's start with the Live Agent improvements first. So first of all, I want to start with the new Live Agent account settings option to set time to live for conversations. So we now give the users the ability to automatically delete conversations after a certain period of time. And this feature was designed with GDPR compliance in mind. So users have more control over how long their data is stored in Live Agent. And let's see how it works. So in your account settings, if you just scroll down to general settings, you can just see this new option called TTL for conversations. So TTL stands for time to live, which simply means the lifespan of a conversation before it gets deleted. So when you enable this option, you can choose after how many days conversations should be removed, both from the UI and from the OData. It is just as easy to turn it on or off, and if you don't want conversations to expire, you can simply just disable this TTL. So why this feature is important is because this feature gives users greater control over their data lifecycle, also supporting compliance while also reducing the unnecessary data storage. So for businesses, while it will just increase the trust for the customers by demonstrating responsible handling of sensitive information, it will also, in terms of infrastructure, it will also help because the unnecessary conversations that are no longer needed will just be removed. And next, I would like to continue with our improved user experience for Live Agent. So this quarter, we have extended the Live Agent OData analytics endpoint. For context, OData is a powerful API framework that allows users to retrieve analytics records in a structured and standardized way. With OData, you can easily fetch the most relevant data models from Live Agent by using simple GET requests. So why does this matter? So because it covers a wide range of enterprise analytics needed, and it can be important whether you want to make fine-grained queries directly in spreadsheets, and OData endpoint gives you much flexibility to do any kind of data analytics you would prefer. Now, returning to what exactly has changed is, so we have extended the endpoint by adding more data types to this collection. So this means that with this update, users can actually gain deeper insights in the Live Agent activities. So at the user level, you can now see login timestamps, logout timestamps, and even the total number of logins for each user. At the conversation level, you can now see when a conversation is ended with a precise timestamp. And at the label level, you can link a label directly to your conversations with its ID. So these additions may seem small individually, but together they give teams a more complete view of agent behavior and the conversation life cycles. So in practice, it actually translates to better tracking of agent availability and more accurate performance metrics. And for easy reference, I would recommend that you check our documentation and release notes, which we have actually gave more detailed inputs and how you can just actually use our OData. Finally, let's look at another improvement we have made this quarter for live agents, focusing on enhancing the agent's user experience. So previously, in the live agent conversation lists, agents could only see the initials of the end user. While this worked fine, it wasn't always the most helpful when agents needed to quickly recognize who they were speaking with. So to address this, we now display the end user's profile picture directly in the conversation list. So this image is pulled from the profile URL that we edit from the details section and also kept in sync with the contact profile in Cognigy.AI. So let me quickly show you. Let's add a profile picture for this end user. As you can see, once I have edited the profile picture, you can just see that my end user has this profile picture there, and also the profile picture has been updated in the chat list. And also it is listed in the conversation list where it's easier for agents to actually determine who they are speaking with. So the benefit is simple, but quite impactful. So when agents update a user's profile picture, they'll immediately see this reflected in live agents. And as I said, this will just be make their lives easier to identify the end users. So let's move on to another important update that I know that most of you were waiting for, the improvements in Salesforce messaging in-app and web integration. So as I promised in the tech update in the last quarter, we have extended our integration to support more features and elevate your experience while you're using this integration in our platform. So the first enhancement that we have added to Salesforce messaging in-app and web is to support automated messaging components. So Salesforce allows creating auto responses during a messaging session. For example, you can just greet customers with a welcome message, send reminders if there's inactivity, or maybe share some links automatically at the end of a conversation. And these automations help ensure consistent and timely communication without adding any extra workload for agents, since they can just automatically send these messages once certain events are triggered. And maybe you can also check this from your Salesforce account, but basically in the messaging components, you can define a few automated messages, which I have actually defined two for the stack update. One is the final message that I want to send after the conversation is finished, and the other one is actually an auto response that I will send at the beginning of the conversation to maybe inform the end user that now they're not talking with a bot, but they are just starting to talk with a live agent. So let's maybe check to start with a simple handover. Let's be online. So as you see, I just created a basic handover, and as I said, I just created this automated message at the beginning of the conversation. And as you can see in the Salesforce environment, we have sent this automated response. And as you can check in the Cognigy environment in the Webchat, this message is supported and automatically sent once the conversation is handled. And maybe let's end this conversation. No, thank you. And as I also configured an end message for this conversation, I'm expecting that once I have ended the chat, I will send another automated response that the session is ended. So let's see. As you can see, I just ended the chat, and the automated message is sent. And as you can see in the Cognigy interface, this message is again also sent. So as I said, you can actually check the Salesforce documentation for more use cases, but basically, in case you want to use the automated messaging components of Salesforce in your flows, you can be sure that these messages are supported fully and fully displayed in the Cognigy.AI. This quarter, we have also enhanced the way attachments are handled by introducing bidirectional attachment support for Salesforce messaging in-app and web. So this means that attachments now flow both ways. Agents can send documents to end users directly from the Salesforce interface, while at the same time, end users can also send attachments back through the web chat to the Salesforce agent. So let's quickly check it. First of all, from the agent's perspective, let's share one file from the Salesforce interface. And as you can see, as an agent, when I just send a document to the end users can just receive it. And let's check it maybe for the end user's case. Let's again send the same photo. And as you can see, as an end user, when I just send an attachment, the agent can again see this. So from an agent's perspective, this actually makes it much easier to share files like maybe product sheets or invoices, or maybe some troubleshooting guides based on the use case without leaving Salesforce and just directly adding the attachments from the Salesforce interface. And again, from the customer's side, it again allows them to upload relevant documents, maybe an ID scan or service-related images right into the conversation without any workarounds, just from this button here. And I have to give you a quick reminder, to use this feature, you will need to make sure that attachment handling is enabled both in your Salesforce settings and in Cognigy settings. And also be mindful about the Salesforce limits on file sizes and formats. And you can just rely into our documentation and also the Salesforce page. And as a summary, this improvement actually closes the loop on document exchange within conversations, resulting in smoother workflows and more complete service experience for both agents and end users. The last enhancement that I would like to highlight for Salesforce messaging in-app and web integration is the introduction of bidirectional typing indicators. Now, whenever an agent is typing in the Salesforce interface, the end user can see it in the web chat. And at the same time, when the end user is typing in Cognigy web chat, the agent will see that activity reflected in the Salesforce UI. So while I was demonstrating the other features, maybe you may have already noticed, but I actually want to show you again. So as an agent, when I will just start typing, I would expect that the end user can actually see that the typing indicators in the web chat. So hey, I am typing. Can you see it when I just say this? And let's also do it for the other way around. Yes, I can see it. I'm also typing. And as you can see, while I was typing, the agents can also see that I'm typing. So while it may seem like a small detail, typing indicators add an important human touch into the conversations, reducing uncertainty of the other party's existence, and also help make conversations feel smoother and more engaging for customers and agents. Because this actually creates a much more natural and conversational flow, because both sides can actually anticipate when the other is about to respond, and there's no way, or there's no need for actually sending "Are you there? Are you just still handling my issue?" kind of texts to the agents or maybe to the end users. Just one thing that is important is that to use this feature, just remember to enable typing indicators in your Cognigy web chat settings. And finally, in addition to the other enhancements, I would also like to give one important information that may actually help you in your Salesforce instance. So in this quarter, in addition to the other enhancements, we now send the locale information of the flow in the payload to Salesforce messaging and in-app integration. So this means that if you want to use this information in Salesforce, you can actually use it to maybe map or adapt conversations based on language or regional settings. So basically, we just send the locale information of the Cognigy flow to Salesforce. And although it's a small detail, it may be helpful. It helps ensure that customers receive a consistent and localized experience throughout their interactions. And for more information, you can check our documentation and also our release notes. And that was the end of my tech update for today. And thank you very much for actually participating. And I'm looking forward to the next tech update. And back to you, Nu.
Thank you, Dennis, for the excellent updates. Even features that seem small can make a difference in the user experience. So we hope you find these improvements helpful for your workflows. And that brings us to the end of today's tech update. We have just walked through the top highlights introduced this past quarter, but as I mentioned earlier, there are plenty of other improvements across the platform. So for the full details, make sure to check out our product blog and release notes. And don't forget, you can also subscribe to the blog to get notified about new releases, as well as the latest resources and best practices from Cognigy.AI. Finally, if we weren't able to answer your question during today's session, don't worry, we are on it. Our team will follow up with you over the next few days. With that, thank you so much for joining us. A big shout out again to our product team for all their great work. We really appreciate your time today, and we look forward to seeing you at the next tech update.